What's your least favorite Nadia song and why? The least favorite Nadia song I think is Back In for me because I didn't necessarily have any choruses. The structure of that song was very different. It felt very freestyly. It wasn't like chorus, verse, chorus, verse, or verse, chorus, verse, chorus. It was literally like verse and then a little bit of a bridge and then a verse and then I was out. And I think that song is like 2 minutes 40 or something, like 2 minutes 30, something or 19. It's very short. So it's my least favorite because it didn't feel like a real song. But I just wanted to drop something at that time. I was just like, I'm playing with this song and I don't have time to actually refine it. So release, out. What song by another artist do you wish you had made? By another artist that... another artist. I think it would have to be Nicki Minaj Did It On Him. And also the video, I wish that was me. That freaking song was so hard. Was so like simple, like Did It On Him. She was so freaking cool. And like it was just so many quotables and so many Instagram captions in her verses. It was just really cool. So for me, it's Did It On Him. And I still listen to that song now. And I'm just like imagining myself in the mirror, just like, this is me. But I wish that was my song. What is the worst financial decision you ever made? Having 2 cars. I'm one person. That has to be the worst financial decision I ever made for myself because honestly, I did not need 2 cars. But in my head, I was just like, oh, it was complicated. I had a V-Class and a personal car because I can't drive the V-Class everywhere. So I had a personal car for like during the week and then a V-Class for when it's me, my team. Because we couldn't fit in my personal car. Then my V-Class got stolen and then I didn't want a V-Class back because I was just like, oh my God, there's so much trauma. Then I got another car. Now I'm stuck with 2 cars. And sometimes like one battery dies because I'm not using the car that much. And it's just a headache, babes. Like that was the worst financial decision I ever gave myself, is getting 2 cars. And now I'm also with Amoda, so I really could have gotten a free car. What song do you regret being a part of? So every song that I've really kind of worked on, there's a reason why. It's either I like it or it makes sense for like the game. So I can't really say there's anything I regret. It's probably because I don't remember it, because if I regretted it, I can delete things out of my head like immediately. People, songs, decisions that I made. Like I can delete. It's so hectic. My delete game, powerful. So if there's a song I regret, I just don't remember it. It didn't even happen in my head. So I don't even know what to say. Song I regret being a part of. No. And I think just Braga's always just been a part of iconic shit. Like, you know?
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, so no.
I'ma show you what I'm on.
I've been up all night, praying for my own timing. Only love, that is all I need. Holy God, come and co-sign me. On the road, so I cannot sleep. If you know walk, then you know go chop. If you know grind, then you will not eat. Sorry, but I'm not sorry. Go hard or go home. This game is not for the weak. Can't stop, they depend on me. To find girls, I don't know their name. Is it favor or is jealousy? Is it vodka, is it Hennessy? Is it danger, is it destiny? I can't go broke, I need my money. Go hard or go home. Go hard or go home. Go hard or go home.
How did being close to AKA influence change your music? Being close to AKA definitely influenced me being a lot more collaborative when it comes to making music. At the beginning, especially with my first album, it was always just me and the producer, me and the beat maker. But, you know, he always bounced off ideas with the people that were around him. And I was very big on like collaborating, you know, even if it's just like having friends that can come over to the crib and listen to the song, or him sending a song to the boys at 3 a.m. saying, listen to this, and getting their feedback and asking, where do you think they should like go with it and all. So being a lot more collaborative, being a lot more open to people's opinions in the song process, like the song making process, 100% that. Then another thing that I also learned was just trying to make more sonically, like more like, music, you know, not necessarily making a hip hop song, but like making music, making things that are sonically timeless, you know? I think that's what I learned from him, just making music that just should surpass the time, and music that can resonate with the 5-year-old kid and the 80-year-old person, you know? That's kind of like been the most nuggets that I got from him. You have a successful makeup brand, Naked Without. How much did the pic of you with no makeup going viral shape your decision to get into the makeup business? It literally is the backbone. It's the reason why I decided to go into makeup, because that picture where I was training without makeup and people were like, oh my gosh, Nadia looks like this without makeup and she doesn't look like this. And oh my God, there was so much conversation around it. And then it kind of like flipped itself on its head, but people started posting themselves without makeup, essentially being naked without makeup. And that also influenced the name of my makeup, because like I keep saying, my makeup is not for the seasoned makeup artists. Yes, the makeup artists that have all the skills can use my brand, but I didn't make it for the makeup artist. I made it for the everyday woman that doesn't necessarily have the skill, but the products need to meet her like 80%. So if you don't know how to make sure that you have full coverage with your makeup, with beating and caking and concealing and hiding and what's, my foundation gives you the full coverage on the first layer. So you need to be able to use the products and not feel like you have to sit in front of the mirror for an hour. Like the day that I trended without my makeup on or whatever the case is, you know, I just didn't have the skill to be able to just put like a young foundation with a little bit of blush and a lip glossy, you know, so that you look alive, you know. And also I was on a date, dude. Like I was at the spa, so I didn't have my wig on and I was chilling. Bruh. But you know, sometimes after work you want to go out with the girls for drinks and you want to just look alive again. So there's like blush sticks, lip glosses, setting powders, and body oil, things that are just easy for you to apply that just kind of you know. So it really was stemmed from that photo that trended without me having makeup on. What South African rapper you think would make a good president?
It doesn't have to. That's a good question. I don't know.
Who would make a good president? I think Proverb. Honestly, like he probably would make the best president, because how many degrees is Proverb now? Like, yeah, Jesus, that guy's a professional scholar. Like, I'm always seeing he's graduating, he wrote a book. He just seems smart, babes. He just seems like very unlocked and just like knowing what's going on at the world and knows how to carry himself. I mean, with the debates, I know we don't have debates like America does debates, but you know, in Congress or whatever, what's it called? The state what? What do you call it? The state address or whatever's going on at the rallies, you know, the way that he was handling idols, he's going to handle those rallies amazing. So I'm going to say definitely Pro. What was the last book I read? It was a 6.
What do you mean by that?
I'm still reading it now. So I read it like in bits and pieces, but it's those 6 books that like tell you exactly what's going on. Like, oh my gosh, he connected me with the walls and I felt his throbbing. Yeah, that's the type of book. It's called Bare to You. I forgot the author, but it's called Bare to You. And it's a book that I've been reading for like over a year. I always read like a chapter here and there. And then I just downloaded this new book app on my phone that also has 6 stories in it. So there's a new one that I've just started. I just forgot what it's called. I think it's like Daddy's Girl or something, where the girl's hooking up with her stepdad. It's very crazy, but fun. So yeah, I've kind of gone to like electronic books now as well. How has my BBL changed the way that I feel about myself? Oh my gosh, it was such a confidence booster. Also, it wasn't a BBL, it was a fat transfer. I was trying to fill up my hip dips. I always felt like I was a little bit square because I do have a wide torso, as in like naturally I just have a wide waist. It's not like super, super skinny. So when I had hip dips, it just felt like I was super boxy. I didn't have that hourglass feminine shape. And now that I filled my hips, it's given me that confidence of being feminine and a woman and just feeling soft and sexy, you know. I mean, I'm very happy with my hips now, because it just gives that feminine shape that every woman wants to have.
Period.
And yeah, so it wasn't a cosmetic surgery that I did out of vanity per se. It was just more about my self-confidence. And I'm an advocate for someone that you have the money to do it and there's something that makes you feel self-conscious about yourself and you can change it. And that's what I did. So yeah, I'm not as boxy. I used to say I look like SpongeBob with SquarePants. Like, I loved my body, but I just hated how square I was. So I'm very happy that I've got some hips now. Okay, who had the best verse on Amantombazane remix, except you, of course?
Believe it or not, I will draw the person you will marry. One of my clients asked for a refund. She thought the man I sketched looked like her neighbor, but it turned out he was her soulmate. Here is the sketch I created, and here is the man she eventually married. Just 3 weeks after receiving the sketch, she met him exactly the way I said she would. I can create the same kind of sketch for you. Your destiny.
I think OK Malum Cool Cat, eh? I like these verses. I actually like OK Malum Cool Cat on anything, honestly. Like, I really think he ate all of us up, is Malum. And also in the video, the fact that he had 2 watches and the way he was dancing, it was just everything. It encompassed the performance, the whole energy that he has. It's just like, yeah. So it's definitely Malum's, guys. He definitely ate all of us up. What was the biggest lesson Casper taught me? The biggest lesson I'll always say is, like, when you receive hate, you can't let it derail you of what you feel like your life purpose is, just continue moving forward. Because I remember, like when I was going through that picture with the no makeup thing, and I felt so heartbroken. And I also felt like I embarrassed my partner at that time because I was trending for something that wasn't great, and Cass really was just like, babe, like, look at the type of tweets I get, like the tweets that he got were very wild. And he says, you can't let that change your path that God has given you. And also, it's not real. Some people are just wanting to get your attention. They want to get a reaction. They want to just get something out of it. And it's not really personal. And you shouldn't take it that way. So the biggest thing that I took from it is don't allow the hate to fester in you. And, it's not easy, but I mean, you have to try every day. You really have to try every day. When are you dropping an album? I don't know if I'm going to drop an album this year. I might drop an EP. I'm working on this amazing concept with Rouge and Nomuzi called The Big Three. So we're doing a concert called The Big Three with the three of us at the end of the year. And I think we're also going to do a project together for that. So each of us are dropping our own project, and then we're doing our joint project as well, which is super exciting. But I don't know about an album. Hey, right now I'm really just trying to get out of my deal that I'm signed to. That's mad trash. Like, I owe the label songs, so I'm just trying to release songs I can get the fuck out of there.
Damn.
And then continue with my life. Because wow, it's pity, babes. Yeah. Anyway, that's me giving you too much information.
Broadcast live.
Better get my boy. She gotta get out of sleep right now.
Too much info.
What's up, y'all? This is KO, Miss Cash Time, Miss Cutting God, right here, Slick on Live, and I'm about to give you potentially too much info. Let's go. You've been in the game for 20 years, which comes with adapting. What new age trend would you never hop on? One thing that almost like I feel like is holding some of the sonics back is it's just be heavy auto tune. You know what I mean? And the melodies are so dope. And I'm like, bro, like if you could just remove the auto tune, because I use auto tune myself, but I use it for pitch correction. You feel me? I'm not a good singer, but I use it for pitch correction. Sometimes you don't even pick up that it's there. So I think some of it, like just it's overly filtered, it's overproduced, it's like overly cooked and stuff like that. So that's just the one thing that I feel like the youngins just need to pull back from. But everything else, man, I mean, I'm a student of the game, and I'm always learning and open to new things. So I don't think there's anything that I wouldn't co-sign.
If you struggle with focus, this sound might change everything. Brain FM is
Tell us about your new single. Yeah, so the new single is called 20 Summers because I've been in the game for 20 years. I'm blessed, and for me, the reason why even to this day I'm still going is purely because I feel like I just owe it to the game, because the game literally pulled me out of a dark place. You know, when I look back to this day, like when I wake up in my house, just the space that I'm in, you know, my girlfriend and XYZ, and I'll be like, there's no way I was in my mom's bedroom and just, you know what I mean, like faffing around and doing what I was doing out there to like years later, you know what I mean, like one is like so well traveled, and it's all courtesy of something that was literally just a hobby to me. And so I'm just blessed in that way. So this particular record is almost like an ode to my entire journey, and just showing gratitude to, yes, my supporters and also the Almighty. What's your least favorite KO album and why? I think, just to be honest, I'll probably throw SR2. I know some people, like, especially like my core fans, they don't like the fact that I throw SR2 under the bus, but I feel like it was a lot of misses in terms of just like where we were coming from with SR1. And I also just listened to my own delivery. You know, like sometimes I could have been saying some dope shit, but my energy was just not right at the time, you know? That's the thing with music. So if you're going to record and put something out, bro, it's almost like a time capsule. It'll, when you go back to it years later, it will actually reel you right back to like where you were mentally. If it was a great space, yes, cool. You might like actually congregate around it and like listen to it a bunch of times, and because you know it's a good moment. But if the nostalgia has some PTSD to it, you sort of kind of like, you know, I actually haven't even listened to that album in a very long time, purely because it sort of kind of triggers those emotions. So yeah, I'd say SR2. What song by another artist would you wish you had made? That's easy. Okay, 2 songs. I'd say Shook Ones by Mobb Deep, because I literally grew up on that. Another song that I'd throw in there would be I Gave You Power by Nas, because I think to this day, no one has actually ever met that type of lyricism. I know Cole just tried it on this last album, but come on, big dog. But yeah, I Gave You Power by Nas. What is the worst financial decision you've ever made? Worst financial decision that I ever made. I remember back in the day, I bought these cap-ass Gucci boots. This was like Birdman Gucci. When, you know what I mean? Cash money was going crazy. I remember buying these Gucci boots. I still have them at the crib. I look at them joints and I feel like a tenderpreneur. I'm like, nah, I'm not putting those on. So that's probably, I think them joints were like 20, if I'm not mistaken. Back in the day, this is 2011 or so. So there was a lot of money. Contextually, if you're thinking about it right now. What song do you regret being a part of?
Damn.
I love my guy Gemini. You know, I went in there, gave him a solid 16, and then the song comes out and it's choked. I think it was like a 12 or something, or an 8. You know what I mean? But what we need to make sure we do as artists, as collaborators, before it goes out there to the world, you know, you need to check in with your collaborator and make sure that he's well represented as far as like his craft is concerned. That's one moment. Another one, nah, let me not go there. But yeah, I mean, it's a couple, but it was moments that actually were meant to happen the way that they did. If you were president of a country, what's the one problem you'd want to solve first? I think we need a Coke Zero version of dictatorship in this country.
Point of order, Honorable Malema.
This is our
Limit some of the rights, especially like if we're talking about freedom of speech, like it makes no sense for someone to go on TikTok and create a whole meme page about, you know, the head of state and just like ridiculous, mocking, you know what I mean, like such a powerful figure and all those kind of things. Yeah, dictatorship on some level. That's the first thing I would probably do, personally.
My academic journey, it began in India. I was always interested in wildlife, but of course,
Would you start another label or collective like Cash Time and Scandal Republic? Why and not? At this point, I think I have a different solution for like the whole label thing. So we still have Scandal World. The label is still pretty much, Love and Well, sitting with UMG. But the way that we're doing it now, instead of like onboarding artists and whatnot, it has become a platform where we can just like, it's a collaborative brand at this point where we're putting out music as kind of world featuring either KO and someone else. Whenever we feel like there's a great synergy between myself. I don't even have to be part of the record myself. Like it could just be like us saying, okay, cool. We feel like we want to produce a record maybe between Touchline and Blackie. Boom. Sit them down, get a producer, let them put it together, and then boom, we put it out there. It's kind of a featuring Blackie and Touchline. So that's basically where we are right now. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I think I have artist fatigue. Respectfully. Which artists you signed are you proud of? For instance, like I think Muggs is a kindred spirit. You know, I loved having that man around because just knowing that like you're on the same label as him, you know you can't like slip up when you get on a record, whether you're in a feature or whether you're making your own record. Like in a top 5, dead or alive, never had dropped a whack verse in his life. That comes with certain currency and it puts the battery on your back to push yourself. So shout out to my guy. I love Nomuzi. The last batch of guys that I had, definitely Roy. I have a little bit of ADHD, like in terms of just like my mind is always just racing, and I have so much that I want to get out at the same time that maybe like if I'm talking to someone else, like they might end up getting confused. So I think in terms of his talent, he has a bit of ADHD on that level. You know, there's so much that, you know, his tank is crazy, and is a dope individual. Low-key, a super dope human as well. So yeah, a lot of those guys, great individuals. I think in terms of his way, I have a little bit of ADHD, like in terms of just like my mind is always just racing, and I have so much that I want to get out at the same time that maybe like if I'm talking to someone else, like they might end up getting confused. So I think in terms of his talent, he has a bit of ADHD on that level. You know, there's so much that, you know, his tank is crazy, and and I love my guy Zinger. Yeah, that's bro for life. Which artist do you regret ever signing? Superman Omnyama. Molly, eh? That's his name. Yeah. A beast. But yeah, I mean, I think somewhere in there, he still needed to like sort of kind of get himself together as a man, and like, you know what I mean? Like just like really realign. And then of course, business wise, it just didn't. I spoke to my E about 2 days ago. So like that's always a chat. Right now we're busy in a conversation. Actually, there's an email chain going on. What's going on? Basically, we are in the process of trying to find a new home for, you know, the catalog for Tear Gas. So, you know, one of the most fortunate things that we did early in our careers was making sure that we own our masters and stuff. It's only one album that we don't own. I think it's the debut album. And, you know, from that point on, we made sure that we actually poured into ourselves and, you know, made sure that we continued investing. And unfortunately, as far as like personal convos between myself and Dugza, that hasn't happened in a very long time. What's your favorite KO verse? I mean, people will always say the Run Josie verse, cool. I mean, I respect it. I think to me, if I'm also being politically correct, I might entertain the fact that that's probably the greatest verse in SA hip hop. Not because it's my verse, but just in terms of just like how it's aged and, you know, the quotables from there, you know, they still relevant to this day. I mean, I always see every other day when someone, you know what I mean, messes up on social media, and then next thing you know, over some characters. You know what I mean? So it's just dope. As far as my own personal verses, there was a song that one record that I did with Red Button and Pro Kid. Who am I going in back?
The new people, right? They overlook some people, but like, they were like, I think like, look at the picture, they were like, they're other people around it. Hey, right, well, I'm not a good.
Back to and I'm killing these rap. Heavyweight in the team with Fannie Mac, car thieves, my house. Wake up and smell the black coffee. Like, yeah, it was one of them. I love the God's Will verse. I did a verse over the Go Crazy beat by Jeezy and Jay-Z. You guys can pull that up. You'll probably find it on Google. That verse is crazy. So I think, those are probably my highlights. As far as verses are concerned, what's your favorite KO beat?
A flexible remote job? Zenfi matches you with roles that fit your skills, experience, and salary goals. Take a quick quiz and start your remote career today.
One of my favorite beats, Son of a Gun, definitely has to be in there. A lot of people couldn't catch, Slicker will know, couldn't catch bar one on that record. Like, where do you start? Like, where does the verse start? You know what I mean? Like, some people couldn't find, because, like, I mean, in hip hop, a beat is a 4 count, right? So boom, boom, boom. So, like, on that record, there's no boom, boom. So it's basically like you actually need to know as a lyricist that, okay, cool, the kick is here. So essentially, even though the snare is not where it's typically supposed to be, but this is where it would land. So that means I'd have to start here and I'd have to end by 16 here, type of thing. So I think it was just one of those mind Fs, if I may say so myself. Definitely that beat was very trippy. So shout outs to Luna and the other homeboy who did that. I forgot his name, but yeah. Cam and them, Cam, fire. Okay, OGs seem to be starting podcasts. Would you start one? Hell no. I think the podcast space is very crowded right now, and I'm not taking anything away from the gents that are pivoting to it. But personally, for me, I think I want to take my talents into like other things other than just like, the media space and whatnot. But in terms of me being in front of the mic,
I know this shit, dog. I can't like write this shit for months and I can come up with something, bro. For sure. The problem is like stopping or not having like access to.
I don't think I'm wired for that. My name is KO, this kind of God. The brand new single, 20 Summers, is out right now. And I'm signing out right now, of course. I'll catch you guys on the other side. This is Too Much Information.
Too much info.
Hey everybody, it's your favorite granny here, Devin Gogo, and this is TMI, Too Much Information, on Slicker on Live. Is that right? Slicker on Live. Okay, let's get into it. What's the longest set you've played before your 24-hour set? As far as I could remember, it was probably at Amaros. I used to do like 5-6 hours there, before people would come in. I just play for the staff when I was still learning. Yeah, it must have been my longest set ever. What does it take to prepare for a 24-hour DJ set? I also would love to know, because I've been trying to sleep. I stopped gigging and I don't know how I landed up gigging this past week. I've been going to the gym, trying to eat right. I stopped alcohol for a week. I don't think there's any way you can prepare for a 24-hour set. You actually just have to trust that you're going to do it. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. You made your breakout hit Kuza Koko with Umpura. What's your fondest memory of him? Man, don't make me emotional. I have actually way too many. Like, way too many. I don't know, there was a video that was trending of Mpura saying he was like in the back of a bus, like lying down, sleeping, and basically saying, like, we need to actually forgive alcohol, give it a break. But he was actually in the bus with me. We were all sleeping, and he was really one of my realest fondest memories of him. But I think the best moments were always when we were at home, chilling, laughing. Mpura was one of the funniest people I'd ever met in my life, I think. And such a talented individual. He really liked yellow a lot too, which was like crazy. Because like, who wears yellow? But anyways, what is the song Dagiwe about? Lady D recently said it's not an alcohol song. You know what? I think we all have our own interpretations of Dagiwe. But for me, it really was about the fact that we are enjoying life. Whether you're high on life, high on whatever, drinking alcohol, not, you're just, endorphins are running in your body. It was more about enjoying that moment that you have to yourself before your parents come and fetch you and, take it away. I think there's a metaphor somewhere in there. Yeah.